Hey, what's up, y'all? We are back for part 2 with Jacque M.
Yay.
So the story continues. You lost a job, you had the birthday party, you like, okay, well, we gotta still feed the baby. But you had unemployment, which
I had
was
unemployment.
a little nothing.
Yes, and I had some coins set to the side.
Coin set to the side.
Yep, I had a 401k.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
And so you just was like, I'm gonna just take this time to be mommy.
Yes.
Which is dope. But I'm sure it was like, were you playing with the baby? Like, hey, we have fun. And back in there, you're like, what?
Maybe we just gonna go to the park.
Yeah, to the park.
We gonna have a
make
picnic.
some little sandwiches.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we get creative.
Yes.
We get creative.
So how did you get to the bag? Like literally, how did you get to the bags
Yes.
that you now create? Like
So-
what was the journey to that?
Yeah, so interesting because the school year starts. And I'm like, well, what am I gonna be doing all day while she's at school? You know, so I remember playing around with accessories, just, on my dresser or whatever. And I ended up making a pair of earrings.
Got it.
And I said, these cute. And I just put them on Facebook like, oh, girl, these are cute.
Right.
And somebody that I didn't even know reached out to me and said, oh, I love those earrings. How much? And I'm like, well, how much would I want to sell these for? So I was like $40, right? And at the time, I'm like, well, yeah, just send me PayPal, whatever, because I think that was really the only way, unless you had a website.
Right.
So I said, oh, yeah, just send me a PayPal. And then I just shipped them out to her, right? Okay. And I was like, oh, I like these. So I kept making them. And a week later, somebody reached out to me and said, hey, Pat Smith is having her luxury girlfriend's getaway.
Got it.
And I'm like, okay, so.
Like, so what do you got to do with me?
Yeah.
Right.
And it was like, oh, no, you should, do it. You should be a vendor. And I'm like, how? Well, here's the person's information. So I'm like, okay.
Right.
She's looking for women entrepreneurs and, that have, their own business, whatever.
Right.
In my head, I'm like, but I'm not an entrepreneur. I don't have a business. I just put these little earrings on Facebook and they just happen to sell.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Literally in the middle of the night. So I was like, all right, well, whatever. What can it, it ain't going to hurt.
What's the worst that can happen?
What's the worst that can happen?
Right.
And I remember getting the application. It was an application. And it was a long one.
You be like,
I said, is this how the vendor booths go? Don't you just
like,
pay your money and then you
let
pull
me set
up?
Right.
Girl, they wanted to know all this information about this business. They wanted samples of your product. And I'm like.
Right, like,
so
I
now,
got a picture of it. I sold the one pair that I had. So, right.
So I now got to make something.
Got it.
And I have to fill out this long application. And I have to go take it to this man so he can, I guess, give it to her. And now my anxiety is kicking in. Because now I'm starting to say, no.
Got it.
Talking myself out of jumping in the deep end. Right, on some BS business I done made up.
Like, all I got is the doggy paddle.
What am I going to do?
Yeah, that's a lot.
So I was like, all right. So I remember waiting until the deadline to even send him the stuff or actually take him the stuff because I had to go to his office, take him the earrings, the samples. I had to take him the application. And I'm like, Lord, what are you doing? Why you want me to do this?
Right.
So I remember going to his office, like, I kept calling, like, oh, I'm on the way. I was really downstairs in my car because I was so scared to even go up.
Yes.
And I remember going, I was just like shaking, and I was like, I just wanted to drop this application off and, these earrings or whatever, and for the event. And he said, what's wrong? I said, I don't even know why I'm here. Girl, tears rolling down my face. And I'm just like, what is wrong with you, girl? You just ran the bank for 10 years. And you worried about selling these little earrings when you sold the bank's products and services for years?
Right.
What's wrong with you?
Right.
But it's different when you have a job and you're working for yourself.
Yes. And it's
you
very
start
personal.
It's very personal.
If people don't understand, like creatives, like even me, like being a singer and a songwriter,
Yeah.
it's very personal.
It is.
So if somebody says, I don't like this product from the bank, all right, you just don't like it.
You just don't want
I
it.
done
You don't want a
created
credit card?
created. Right.
Who cares?
Oh, cool. You don't, but when it's something that you created, it's like, what you mean you don't like it? It feels personal. Like, dang, so that means you don't like me? You don't like this? It's a whole psychology that goes into
it.
that.
It is. And it's something that you created, but it's something that's going to feed you and your daughter.
Yeah.
So it hits different, right?
Yeah.
So I remember going to his office, crying, and he said to me, no, don't worry about it. Walk through the door of fear. And I hear him saying that to this day.
Got
yeah.
it.
Shout out Hamilton Sneed. He told me
Oh,
that. You know Hamilton? It was Hamilton. Yes. Hamilton said that to me. He said, walk through the door of fear.
Got it.
And here it is 12 years later. Right?
Yeah.
And I still hear him saying that to me.
Man.
Like I can see him clear as day as I walk through his office door. And that was that door of fear.
Yes.
And when he said that, something came over me and I gave him those samples. And I'm like, okay, here you go, whatever, right? Now my confidence is kind of like, whew,
you were like, okay, I can do, yes, yeah.
I could do this.
Right.
And I remember him opening up the box and he was like, oh my God, these are beautiful. He was like, oh, she gonna love these, her and all her girlfriends. And I was like, you think so? He was like, girl, yeah, they gonna love these. I said, okay. So I left, I got in my car, and I cried, and I prayed, and I said, Lord, I don't know what you want me to do. I said, but I did it, and we gonna see. 2 weeks later, I get a call saying, congratulations, Pat Smith selected your company to be a part.
Right. I like you come like, and then your mind, you like the earrings.
Girl, because I had no.
Yes,
everything was made up.
Yeah, listen.
I'm sorry. This is a moment of truth.
No, listen. People need to know this.
Yes.
Because you know what's funny is people always think it's this big. Like a lot of these companies it's just the person.
Yes.
Like it's just one individual, but it feels like, oh, they probably, because in my mind you imagine, oh, it's this big department. Like, baby, it ain't all of that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It doesn't discount it any, but I'm saying, like, people need to know that sometimes it's like, I got to come up with a name for the company.
Well, I made up a name.
Got it.
I did all that. I made up a name. I made up everything. But I ain't have no business name, no business structure set up. I ain't had no business bank account. I ain't had no inventory. I had nothing. He called saying congratulations, and I was like, whew, I was so excited. And just to have somebody like, you talking about an NFL Hall of Famer's wife.
Yeah, man.
And
not
all
just
her
any NFL.
upper Emmitt Smith's wife. You know what I'm saying? And you have all her upper echelon friends and her circle, you know, and I'm just like, I ain't gonna lie, I was very, very, very intimidated, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I just went to work. I remember just buying all this stuff, making all these accessories and stuff. And what was important to me when I showed up is that my space appeared to be a brand that had been in existence.
Right.
That was important to me. So I made sure that I had like marketing stuff, branding, cards, all the stuff, all the things.
All the stuff.
And I get there and it was a 2-day event. Whew. Girl, those ladies bought me out.
Oh, man.
They bought me out. And that was kind of like the validation that I
like,
needed.
We doing this right. I'm like this, like I can't, like I'm not a person that can watch because I'm gonna feel broke. They're like,
because it gets so emotional.
Yeah, no, because you just like, just you praying for one pair to be sold, and then it's like, y'all really, that's such validation and such a low point. It's like, dang. Yeah. Okay, keep going.
They bought me out, and it was like, wow. The first thing I could think of is rich women like cheap too.
Oh, they absolutely do.
That's the first thing I would say after that weekend. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh my God. And that was I know people always be like, oh, you don't need validation, you don't need validation. Well, when you're doing something for the first time and your customer is this elite group of women that can afford anything. Like they giving me black cards
to buy your earrings that you made in your living room.
Exactly. You know where I made them, Toni?
Where?
At the library. While my daughter was at school. That was my office.
See?
I would rent out an office, a small little office in the library, and I would set up shop every day after I dropped my daughter off at school. Every day.
See?
And I would just create like crazy.
And it's, again, like people need to hear, because it can be so very discouraging to watch people that already have it figured out, right? They're already knee deep in the business. They already have the website so it can feel like unattainable.
Yeah.
Or it can feel like such a large feat that it's like, whatever. But people need to know that you made the earrings in the library.
Yeah.
And they sold out.
It's
like, it don't have to come from a big giant factory where they, you know what I'm saying? Like, because the buzzword now is, my team. Okay, you got a team now. But most people don't have a team.
No.
Most of us can't afford a team. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. And so it's like, that's really.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how you felt when you went home.
After that event?
Yes.
It was like, what's next?
Well, I got this.
Yes.
And it gives you confidence. It's like, okay, so they really like my stuff. I can create dope stuff that people want to buy.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, when I moved to Dallas, my circle was corporate people. My friends worked in the bank. So as far as the fashion scene goes, I didn't know anybody on the fashion scene in Dallas.
I know that struggle.
I didn't know anybody, right? So when I did that event, it's how I started meeting people.
Got it.
Because one thing I'm going to do is, I don't care where I am. I don't care who I'm around. I'm going to walk in there like I'm supposed to be there.
Hey, baby, I have mastered that. Hey, how you doing that? On the inside, I'm going to be like,
exactly.
Like,
where's the bathroom?
That's what I'm saying. I'm an
like, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Hey,
I'm going to go to the bathroom
like,
real quick. Take a deep breath.
I know. And I have to, like, I don't know. I guess I've been that way my whole life, where you like, hey, and everybody thinks, oh, she's the light. On the inside, I'm like, I could just stand here and not talk to nobody. I don't like, you know what I mean? That's just, you know what I mean? But people think the opposite, right? Because of, how you just learn how to do it.
Exactly. It's just natural. And that's kind of like, that was my way in to that world of fashion.
Got it.
So I started doing different events, different vendor events and things like that, and opened up an accessories boutique in South Lake. And there's a popular eyebrow threading lady, Sanita.
Okay.
Everybody around Dallas was getting their brows done by Sanita.
Got
Well,
it.
my boutique was right across from Sanita.
Got
so
it.
I was piggybacking on her clientele.
See?
So I started building relationships with those women because those women look like me, look like you.
Yes.
They like what we like.
They like what
so
we like.
So I was giving them what they wanted.
See?
Right?
Okay.
So that's kind of how that happened. And I remember at the time, my hairstylist, Miko, and Miko was doing Spinderella's hair.
Okay.
I remember getting my hair done, and she was telling, like, she used to tell all her clients about me, right? And she told Spin about me. And at the hair salon, me and Spin, we happened to be there at the same time.
Got it.
And she was buying accessories from me, right? And she says, she was like, by chance, are you a stylist? Because I always had a look.
Right.
Anywhere I go, I make sure,
right.
We're
going to be looking like something.
They going to be wanting to know, well, who is that?
Right. Absolutely.
Who is she?
I know that
right?
whole rap. Yes.
So she asked me if I was a stylist.
Got it.
And what y'all think I said?
Yeah, absolutely. Girl,
of course.
I'm a stylist. I did another on a previous episode. Somebody kept asking them a question. They was like, and I just said, yeah, I'm opening one next week. Like, What she was like, ain't Big Mo did, but that's just what you do.
That's
so you
what
was
you
like,
do.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah. She was like, oh, well, I have this event in 2 days. Can you style me? I said, sure.
Got it. Yes. Okay.
So I ain't never styled nobody but me.
But you.
Okay.
But that was, you had the experience.
Maybe a couple photo shoots.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah. So I ended up styling her for an event. She had 2 days for this event. I had 2 days to get prepared. Pouring down rain in the worst weather ever. I have to go try to find stuff, put a look together for an event. So, of course, I styled her, and her accessories were from me, right? The business was called Pop Life Jewels.
Come on, Pop Life.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yes. So of course, I styled her in my accessories, got her ready for the event, and she called me again.
Got it. So now you officially a stylist, like
because after they call you 2-3 times,
you be like, I guess I must say you working, right. Like I'm a stylist now, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I worked with her for a few years.
I
worked with her for a few years, traveling. I styled her for like Grammys, red carpets and stuff, Grammys, Oscars, all those different events that she would DJ.
Right.
Like we was rolling.
Yeah, I was working. Right.
We was working, we was rolling. And during that time, while working with her, I did an event. I did a pop-up. And the photographer asked me to come meet her to get the disc with the pictures.
Right.
Ain't no drop box.
I'm like, we need you to get this physical CD.
The CD with your pictures, you know.
Right.
So I had to go meet her to pick it up. And when I went to meet her, she said, I want to introduce you to somebody. Well, she introduced me to this guy named Arthur Porter.
Got it.
So when I met him, I was just so intrigued because he was making all kind of stuff. Like he was making like these exotic leather bags. He was making these exotic leather chaps. Like he's made them for Oprah, Erykah Badu, like so many famous people.
Yes.
And I was like, wow. And I said, hey, can you make a bag for me and my client? And he said, no. He said,
okay.
I could teach you. I said, sir.
I ain't got that type of time.
I don't have that type of time.
Right.
I said, I have an accessories boutique that's doing well. I'm traveling, styling. I'm, living my best life, meeting celebrities and doing all this stuff.
Right.
I said, I don't have time for that.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I took him up on his offer. And I remember going to his studio and learning the craftsmanship of working with leather. Yeah. And he teaches people with autism how to create products using raw material, right? So when I went to him, I said, this is different for me. But he said, don't worry about it. He said, I'm going to teach you, and I want you to focus on the craftsmanship. He said, the design is going to always come. He said, focus on the craftsmanship. You'll never go wrong if you focus on the craftsmanship. And I still live by that to this day. Anything I produce, I focus on the craftsmanship.
Right.
And the quality.
Right.
The design, I like freestyle like Jay-Z in the booth, right? So I don't sketch.
Right.
I don't know how to draw.
Got it.
Right? I've never sketched a bag.
Got it.
So when I create, I literally cut and sew and create, and something dope
comes out of it. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I reproduce it, right?
Right.
So that became my therapy because I was still trying to find my way. Like from the time I lost my job, I'm literally really only about a year into having no job. Like all this happened fairly quickly.
Yes. Okay.
This was like moving.
Yes.
Right. So I fell in love with the craftsmanship. Okay. I fell in love with sourcing leather hides. Okay. I fell in love with creating. And I never knew that I was a creative until I started creating.
Right.
And it became so organic that it felt right.
Right.
It felt like the right thing to do.
Right.
So as I'm creating, I'm still styling. So what I'm doing, putting these bags
on the people
on
that
my
yeah,
client.
Yeah.
So when she hit the red carpet or we hit events, she got the dopest bag. Gucci who? Louis what? Chanel who?
Exclusive to her. It's not another one.
Exactly.
Right.
And people are wanting to know.
Where's
that bag come from?
Yeah.
You know, because I always find the most exotic hides and the most exotic colors and things like that. And people will want to know, where is that bag from? At this time, we moving into the Instagram world. Okay. So I remember meeting Derek J.
Okay.
On the time
the stylist,
the hairstylist. I met him on a Time Joyner cruise while working with Spin.
Got it.
And he asked me, where you get that bag from? And I said, I made it. He said, what? He said, girl, give me this bag. So he like posing and stuff with this bag. Yeah. And he was like, send me something. I said, all right. So I made him a bag. And when he got it, he unboxed it. That was before unboxing was a thing.
Right.
He unboxed it on Instagram. And I remember going from 100 followers.
100, like 100?
100. To like 5,000.
You'd be like,
I mean,
it's like a phenomenon.
The phone was jumping.
Yes, you'd be like, oh God. Like, yes.
Like 100 to like over 5,000 overnight. Like my phone was jumping.
Yes.
Like crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And people's DMing me. I ain't had no website.
Got it.
You know, I ain't had no website. Like when I'm selling accessories and stuff, it's like
hand-to-hand combat, like at the table, like these the ones you were opposed to.
But one thing I would always do when I started my business, something I learned from the corporate world, I would always collect email and phone numbers.
That is a big part.
Yes.
Yes.
So because I had a built-in clientele when I started my bags, I remember when I actually texted out my very first bag, I texted to all of the people, like manually text everybody.
So how many bags?
So I remember, crazy thing, literally within an hour, that first bag sold for $375. And I said, hot damn.
You like, we in the game, dog. Look,
if I do 10 of these a day, then I'm going to be all right.
I'm going to be all right.
I'm going to be all right. That little 417
good, listen,
ain't going to mean nothing.
Ain't going to mean
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, I went from $40 earrings to $375 bags.
Yes.
Oh, we on to something.
We on to something.
So that first bag, I think I made about, girl, countless. I can't even remember. I cannot remember. Like I was going crazy with it.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
And at that point, did you have more than one design or were you just working off of one design?
So I always freestyle.
Got it.
It was like, I just make it and I just produce. I went from making bags, leather clutches, big oversized clutches, crazy like raw edge, raw hide finish, to like handcrafting, like putting spikes on there by hand, to the French clutches. So you got Derek Jaden vouch, stamp me or whatever. He vouching for me. Now you got other celebrities looking, and Spin is already my client, so she already stamping me.
Right.
And it was like, okay, I'm moving.
Yes.
I remember Jocelyn Hernandez called me. My personal cell phone rang, and I hear this voice. And she like, this Jocelyn Hernandez from Love and Hip Hop. And I said,
like, well, like I think I heard what you said, but I'm not. And that was at that year. That was the height of
of reality.
She was saying stuff like, "Hey, mate," exactly.
Like, girl, exactly.
Yes.
So she called me and she was like, hey, I want to know if you can make some bags for me. I was like, for sure.
Right.
She's like, I'm going to be in Dallas on this day. Her and Stevie J.
Okay.
They were together.
Got it.
And I went and I took her the bags. And I will never forget, and a lot of people who watched Love and Hip Hop at the time, everybody wanted to know if Stevie J and Jocelyn was really married, right? That was the big thing.
Got it.
And I remember she was doing her confessional during the, I think, reunion. And the guy, he says, so are you guys really married? And she said yes. So he said, do you have a marriage certificate? She said, well, let me look in my purse. So she opens up this black leather clutch, opened it up with these long exotic fringes. And that was my bag.
I know you was like,
that was my
that's
bag.
such a
that
is
was my
such
bag.
a surreal
Yes.
feeling, because you like, I mean, it's like it's something that you create. I can vouch for that,
Yes.
feeling like, oh my God.
Yes.
Like something that came, it's amazing because something that came out of your brain.
Yes.
It's like people like, oh yeah, I
Yes.
want that. That's
Yes.
incredible. Yeah.
Came out of my brain. I literally handcrafted it, cut sewed with these hands. I did that.
Yeah.
And to see it on TV, and then to see Derek J wear my bag that was actually in one of those tabloid magazines. He's on a red carpet with the bag. You got Kim Kardashian and Kanye on the front cover, and Derek J up in there with my bag.
Yes,
I'm
that's
like,
a big
oh
deal.
my God.
Like, is this for real? Like,
Yes. So a lot of dope moments happened, and then from there, K. Michelle,
got it.
her whole season.
Got it.
They reached out. Jackie M.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Drea.
Got
From
it.
Basketball Wives.
Yeah.
Whole season. You Google her now, some of her old photos. She got a Jackie M clutch in her hand on countless red carpets.
Got it.
You know, so it's really crazy because you start looking like, man, like God does have a bigger plan for us.
Because it doesn't, you can never, it's so hard to just, I mean, like when I just look in my life, right? You get nervous, like, okay, so what, how we going to, and then once you're at the place, you look back and you go, oh, is that why I met the dude that was making the bags for the, Is that why I started?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yes.
And all the pieces just come
All
together.
the pieces
But
start
when
coming
you
together.
walking through it,
You don't
it can
realize
be stressful. You be like, yeah, you don't realize
don't
it. You just like,
realize it.
well, I met this dude. I done found a little therapeutic thing to do. Never thinking.
that this is how I eat.
Today.
You know?
Today.
And I mean, that has allowed me to meet so many different people. And I started so many relationships, business relationships, partnerships from something that I almost didn't even do. Because I'm like, man, I got other things going on. But when I found my form of therapy, it gave me time to really figure out what it is I'm going to do.
Right.
How I'm going to do it. And just like growing into a space that you just never even imagined. I wasn't in a fashion space.
Yeah.
I was in banking.
You like, I like cute clothes. I know
like
that much,
fly
but
stuff. I've always been a fly girl.
Right.
Since I was a shorty in Chicago. Like I've always been into them looks. Now.
Yes, but you be like, I ain't talking about making them.
But I wasn't trying to, I just want to buy them.
Yes, I just want to buy them. Right.
And I didn't even know that I was a creative.
Got it.
I didn't know until I started creating.
What's the best piece of advice somebody's ever given you besides walk through the door of fear?
So that was definitely one, walk through the door of fear. I'm trying to think. I mean, it's so much. I honestly can't. That's the biggest. That I can't. I mean, people give you advice all the time. Some really great advice. But I think that the biggest thing is as you're growing and as you're building and you're creating, you doubt yourself so much. And something that I've learned and I've heard people say time and time again, if you don't believe in yourself, none of it matters.
None of it matters.
No.
Nothing.
Somebody can tell you, you look great, your bags are dope, but if you don't feel that internally,
they're not going to be able to convince you of it.
No.
Like, it's like, well, they cool. You have to know it from the inside.
You have to know it.
You do.
And it's crazy because here it is. I've been doing this now for 12 years, but I still struggle with that.
Yeah.
I still struggle with, I'm not good enough.
I don't know. And what I'm wondering, like at this age, I'm wondering, does that go away? Like, because I know so many people that are uber successful that are still kind of had that little thing in the back of their mind. And honestly, I kind of think it makes some people better, because if you think you got it figured out, then there's no reason to get any better. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not, you know what I mean? So I don't think that that's exclusive to you, but it's a suck. I had a conversation. I know this is a left. So LaShawn Daniels, which is April Daniels' husband. We wrote the Whitney Houston stuff together. I've known him forever. Amazing human, along with April. But one night we were at the studio, and this is the first time I'm telling the story. I'm not gonna cry about it. I feel like I might, because every time I think about it in the car, I cry about it. But we were writing one night, and we were talking outside of the studio. He was doing something. We were standing outside. I was like, this is wearing me out. I was like, I just don't feel like it's coming together. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know whether I was writing a song and I felt like it wouldn't come. I don't know what was happening. And he looked me dead. He was like, who told you that? And I was like, no. He was like, stop saying that. Like, I don't know who told you that. He was like, you are. And I was just like, yeah, you get that lump in your throat and you be holding it like, no,
girl.
I'm good.
Yeah, right.
Trying to hold it in, yes. But it's like the inside voices supersede the outside ones.
It does.
So it's like we all have to tighten up on that inside voice. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure people can look at you and go, oh, she ain't got no words. She feels like, dude, I got a whole situation that you don't know nothing about.
Yes.
What was the most shocking thing or surprising thing about entrepreneurship for you?
Oh, it's a lot.
Right.
It's a lot.
Okay.
So people assume that when you are a business owner, you got all this money.
Yeah.
Right?
Baby, yes.
Right? What they don't understand is it's revenue.
It's money that's already spoken for.
And it ain't your money.
And it ain't your money.
It ain't yours.
Yes, that's going back.
And I think that people that are not business owners and entrepreneurs don't understand that.
Do not.
All the money that come in is not your money.
It's not.
It's not yours.
Most of it is not.
Most of it ain't.
Right.
You know? And I think that for me, of course, going into business, it's like some days I'm up and some days I'm back to that good old unemployment.
It's ebbs and flows.
417.
Listen.
Woo!
Yes, it is. And everything it's a battle, and it's a you just gotta fight to stay in the game, but people don't understand that.
No.
And the really good ones and the really dope ones make it look like light work. Like, I'm down to the 417, but you'll never know. Like,
you would never know.
You got, it's like, I can't
I'm still going to work like it's 417,000.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, you shouldn't be looking like what you've been through when you know what I'm saying? When you're in a bit, you know what I mean? Like, there's, even with John, me and Glennis were talking about this a few minutes ago. We'll have this conversation off camera, but it's you know, people assume so many things. They assume that the business, like I said, where your business is now is where it's always been, that you didn't have a start. That's what people think, like it was easy, whatever. And, you know, when people look at John, I'm like, he didn't have no business, right? But we made it look like, you know what I'm saying? Like early when we first got married, it was like nobody would have ever guessed this. Like, we trying to figure this out. We scraping through.
And you have to.
You do.
You have to. When you make a commitment, though, to be self-employed, that commitment ain't no different than being in a marriage.
Go, baby.
It's no commitment.
Yep.
Ain't no throwing in the towel.
Ain't no
you
throwing
know,
in
when
the
you
towel.
cause sometimes when you in it, you wake up and you be like, wow, I've been doing this for 5 years.
Yes.
And then you look up, here it is, year 12. I still can't believe that I'm 12 years in.
Like, you be like, when did that happen?
How did it happen?
Yes.
Like, I went from being a vice president with JP Morgan Chase for 10 years.
Right.
And I am an entrepreneur for 12 years.
Have you ever said, I'm done? Like, I'm going back to, have you ever had that thought, like, not like clearly not real because you still in it, but have you ever had like, this is wearing me down to the white meat. I'm through. Like, I'm just going.
Yeah, right now.
See, that's a real thought. Like, it's a real thought.
No, Seriously.
Yeah, you be like, is it?
At this very moment. It's so many sleepless nights in entrepreneurship. It's so many sleepless nights when you don't know where your next
Big
idea is going to come from, where your sale is going to come from.
Yeah.
You don't know any of that. You
Yep.
just have to keep moving in it. And the easy thing is to just go and apply for a job.
Right.
Right. I met somebody, you know,
Yeah.
at one of these events. It was like, oh, are you on LinkedIn? I said, well, I think I got a real estate profile on LinkedIn. I said, but I can't even tell you when the last time I logged in there.
And you be like, I don't even know what's on it. Right. How,
Like,
I don't remember the password.
Is it
Like,
updated?
Probably not.
I have
but
no idea.
Yes.
So for me, I'm like, well, if I got to go figure all that out,
And I could just figure this out, right?
Just, you know, tap back in with my
Yes.
audience, because truth be told, over the last year or so, I felt like I've been in retirement mode.
Got it.
Okay. During the pandemic, and then, you know, coming out of it, it's like I think people got comfortable. Right?
Yeah.
And I remember actually in 2021, August 2021, my daughter moved to Houston. So I drove her to Houston. And if anybody knows me, they know that me and my daughter, we like
Thick as thieves, right?
1 and 2.
Got it.
You
Got
know,
it.
you see her, you see me.
Got it.
Right? And when she moved to Houston, I was like, oh, okay, you know, dropped her off, took her to Houston or whatever. And then she said she wasn't coming back. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I took her, but then it was like when I came back from bringing her or whatever, I started to get real emotional about her going, right?
Yeah.
And saying she wasn't coming back. But then I didn't really have time to just feel that because I ended up having a surgery.
Okay.
Because I, you know, suffered from fibroids for many years.
Ooh.
And I had to finally just do it.
Right.
And so I had to have a surgery in September, recovering from surgery, and something happened September 2021 after that surgery. I became this introvert, which was unfamiliar to me.
Yes.
You know, you already described how I embraced you when I met you.
Yeah, like, hey girl, and usually that's how I am, but I'm yeah.
And I'm normally like that with people. Like,
Right.
that's just who I am.
Yes.
With people I don't know,
Yes.
with my family, everybody know
Yes.
Jackie is the life
Yes.
of the party.
Yes.
If I ain't there on time, they calling, where you at? You know
we
what I'm
need to
saying?
be trying to kick the party off and we can't do it without
come
you.
on, where you
Yeah.
at, you know?
Yes.
And I've always been that.
I think it's the pandemic because I'm coming out of it now, right?
Yeah.
But I think it has something to do with because you just used to being
Yeah.
for so long we were locked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's an interesting feeling because
Yeah.
you're like, I love people because I love humans.
Yes.
All kinds of humans,
Me
right?
too, yeah.
But it's like when you start feeling like, why am I scared of people now? Like
Yeah.
almost like, what you trying to do? Like, why you acting like that? Were you a little shell shocked like somebody? You know what I mean? But it's a weird
You
a
can't
weird
even
space.
describe it.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It's so unfamiliar to me. And so I started writing everything down. And it just turned into something that was like, wow, where all these notes come from?
Got it. So is this where the book came
This
from?
is where it
Got
came
it.
from.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got
so that's where that came from. I was able to birth the power of transition because I was going through a transition, trying to figure out what is this?
Yes.
What is this?
And people just need to know it's normal. I think that's okay. Dope. So
Yeah.
so when are you gonna do that? When are you gonna release?
So sometime this summer.
Got it.
Sometime
Okay.
this summer.
Okay.
You know, I've been holding on to this project for a very long time. It's been finished since February, March 2022.
Got it. But you like, let me go on and do that. I mean, you might as well. See, this was so good, y'all. Okay, so we want people to follow you.
Yes.
You change. You're not I am Jackie. You're I am. What are you
It's
now?
the THE.
Okay, the Jackie M on
Yes.
Instagram.
Yep.
I told you it was gonna be bomb. It always is. Okay, see y'all again next week.
Yes.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.